Alright, so some of y'all wanted me to react to the moves that the Clippers have made in the offseason. What have the Clippers done? Let me see. What? I'm looking at an article that says Kevin Durant for Paul George. What? I wouldn't do it personally. I actually don't know that. That actually probably would be a good trade, right? Like if you put Durant next to Paul George, I think most people will agree that Durant is better than Paul George. But I don't know, you feel me? I like Paul George. Especially because he's basically had to carry the Clippers the past 2 seasons with Kawhi being out. But I can't lie, right? I can't lie. I think the Clippers probably would be better with Durant, right? Durant and Kawhi, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Let me know in the comment section. What would you guys do that, Paul George for Durant? You also got to keep in mind they probably won't do a straight up trade, right? It probably won't be Paul George straight up for Durant. It'll probably be Paul George plus someone else, or it'll probably be Paul George plus Luke Kennard, and probably even more. I don't know, right? I don't know. I would have to see the trade directly to really give an opinion on that. But assuming it was Paul George for Durant, I don't think I could say no to that. Even though I really like Paul George. All right, so the biggest news I believe so far is that we have got John Wall. And if you ask me, that's a big W, right? Houston bought him out. We're only paying him like 6 million a year for 2 years. That's really good. Right, we finally have two point guards. I think the majority of last season we really only had Reggie Jackson as the point guard. But now we can have a solid rotation between John Wall and Reggie Jackson. Now, being that Reggie Jackson is more of a scoring guard, I do believe that John Wall will end up being a better fit for the starting lineup, being that he has averaged 10 assists for multiple seasons. Being that we have Kawhi and Paul George in the starting lineup and we want them taking the majority of the shots, I do believe John Wall can play that facilitator role better than Reggie Jackson. I'm really not worried about John Wall. I know he didn't play last season, but the season before that he did play and he was still averaging 20 points, I think like 7 assists. So I expect him to be just as good, if not better, right? I think this year off probably did his body very good. We signed Nicolas Batum to a 2-year, $22 million deal. That's good. That's cheap, right? I love Batum's defense. He's also very reliable on offense. We also signed a Miro Coffee to a 3-year, $11 million deal. That's super cheap, right? I like Coffee. He's a solid player. Not a bad deal at all. We also signed Zoo to a 3-year, $33 million deal, or actually extension. Not bad. Not bad. I think we still have Covington and Powell under contract. At least I hope, because I really like those two players. Yeah, so Covington and Powell are not free agents, so we got them for sure next year. And I hope we keep them, because like I said, I really like those two players. But yeah, we re-signed Nicolas Batum, we got John Wall, we re-signed Amir Coffee, and we gave Zoo an extension. So far, so good. The Clippers have a lot of flexibility when it comes to the starting lineup. It could, right? John Wall and Reggie Jackson could start. That wouldn't. I don't think that would be good, but I'm just saying, right? Right. We could put Luke Kennard in the starting lineup. It could be John Wall, Luke Kennard, Paul George, Kawhi, Zoo. Right. If that starting lineup, the only weakness would be Luke Kennard's defense. Right. Or instead of Luke Kennard, you could put Powell in the starting lineup. There's a lot of different moves we can do. I like Covington and Batum better than Morris. And so I don't know where that puts Morris in the lineup. Right? One of those three guys isn't going to be getting a lot of minutes, right? Covington, Batum, or Morris, because they basically all play the same position. And like I just said, I like Batum and Covington more than Morris. But that being said, we're going to have a lot of offensive power, especially on the bench, right? Assuming John Wall starts, we're going to have a lot of offense coming off the bench, right? Reggie Jackson, Luke Kennard, Morris, Covington, Powell. The only thing we would really be missing is a backup big. I think I saw something that the Clippers might be looking into getting DeMarcus Cousins again. That wouldn't be bad, honestly, especially considering DeMarcus Cousins and John Wall played in college together. It might work this time. Who knows? Or we could also re-sign Hardenstein. I wouldn't be mad at that either. But yeah, I think the Clippers are probably going to end up making more moves than this. I don't know. It's something just seems incomplete. I feel like we need maybe one or two more players. But yeah, so far so good.